Well, in the day we'll be playing NeveN. So as you can see, this new update has a new UI. The font of the words for the menu are different. And because of that, I had to make a new save because the old saves didn't work. So this is the new save I made right here, where you have to pick between the four characters. So from this point on, I fast forwarded up to where we are now with Akhet. This is chapter 8. So I made this new save after I downloaded the games here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start chapter 8 for Akhet. See the new UI here. It feels like a thud is buzzing in my ears. To be perfectly honest, I'm not sure exactly how I got back to the castle. I'm not even sure where I slept, nor if I slept at all. Ever since last night, I felt like I was floating, like I'm not really here. Maybe I am, maybe I'm just dreaming. I hope that's the case because that would mean that nothing has happened. All those poor people are still alive. And that Gilead. Eric? Akhet's voice and his grip on my hand bring me back to reality. The gaze of the other council members is on me. Some worried, others simply concerned, and as for Vo, annoyed. Is everything alright? Yes. Sorry, I'm sorry. I was somewhere else. I slept terribly, I guess. We prefer to give you more time, Eric, but unfortunately, we can't afford it. No, I understand. It's just that what were we talking about again? While others an annoyed grunt before answering me, your companion has just finished recounting what happened yesterday. I don't suppose you have anything useful to add. Crap. I haven't the faintest idea what Akhet said. I'm going to assume he gave a full account of events. I don't think so, no. I didn't particularly see much. A strange moment in the alley with Rowan and the vision suddenly come to mind. Something weird happened with my brand at some point. Your brand? What? Give me details. Ro almost throws himself on the table as if second me would make me answer faster. Calm down, Vo. But indeed, if your brand is developing new abilities, we need to know about it. I don't even know if it's reality. I don't even know it's really an ability. You know I have visions about using my power. Well, I had one. Except it was before I activated my brand, when it was just awake, and I didn't see something that could have been real. I saw something that was actually going to happen, Rowan's death, and mine. But you're still alive, both of you. I was able to change the outcome. You can see the future and change the course of time. Do you realize the importance of such a power? If you can master it, if you can predict what will happen to the kingdom. I'm not sure I can, but I don't just see what's happening, I feel it. I still remember the claws against my skin, my flesh tearing, my bones shattering, and that brief moment of nothingness when everything happens, or when everything stops. Whether this new power only lets me see my own death, I'm not sure I want to go through that again and again. The silence that falls over the table is heavy. Maybe I shouldn't have said all that. I don't know. I just couldn't help myself. Is that all the more is that all the more reason to master your plan? The king speaks to me with a gentleness I had not yet heard in his voice. If these visits you receive are unpleasant, learning to control your power is all the more essential, don't you think? That way, you won't have to experience this kind of event unless it's absolutely necessary. Not to mention the incredible importance of this new use of your plan. We could learn so much more about the forgetful ones. What does NeveN choose to show you? Your own death, the death of others? Why does he choose to show you this rather than anything else? Lovo, I'm afraid this is not the time for theological discussions. Interesting as the news of Eric's new powers is, we have more urgent matters on our hands. King Aeon, what should we do about the beasts in our streets? The gazes finally leave me and turn to the tiger as a sigh escapes my lips. I know Les and Vo are probably right, but that doesn't make it a pleasant prospect. The more that time goes by, the more I hate this fucking brand. Our current priority is the death or capture of the beasts. I've already ordered the city gates closed, as well as surveillance of the best-known entrances to Bastards Alley. On top of that, we have ordered a curfew. No one is to be on the streets at night except members of our guard. Eric, you clearly the target of this creature and its master. Until this is sorted out, you are confined to the castle grounds. The idea of protesting doesn't even occur to me. We're going to scour every corner of Phosphane until we find and put down that creature. I'll join the search using myself. And no. They're after our city, our people. I'm not going to stand by and do nothing. In that case, let me go. But if the beast ever manages to get inside the castle walls, we'll need someone capable of stopping it on the spot. Also, until we have more information about our enemy, my power is best suited to find out more about it. So be it. Answer, please ask the nobles present in town and those in the nearest domains to send us reinforcements from their personal troops. The more of us there are, the quicker this will all be settled. Well, I need you to choose your best priests and sign up to our troops. Give preference to the brands of Argon, Hurry, Lastra, and Gawain, as they will undoubtedly be the most capable of capturing or killing the beast. No brand of Mariani. Given the destruction this thing is capable of, we'll need all of our healers if things ever get out of hand. I'll join the fight myself, Lord. I will expect no less of you. Good. No need to wait any longer than necessary. The sooner we act, the sooner we can put this whole situation behind us. The council is adjourned. You know what to do. The others, perhaps, but me, I'm totally lost. Am I supposed to stay here, do nothing in waiting? A helpless prey, hoping for the hunt to end? A hand on my shoulder interrupts my thoughts, and surprise almost makes me jump when I recognize who it belongs to. Vo, you've done well. You used your brand as best you could. What are you talking about? Yesterday, you used the gifts of the gods to save a life. That's not really a relief. How many others have died because of me, because that thing wanted to get me? Eric, it wasn't. You're not responsible for this. This fault lies on the shoulders of whoever uses their brand of Mariani to denature her creation. I can't help but recoil. Even having heard of Vo angry before, I never perceived such raising his voice. Using the brand of the goddesses to create these monsters. We will find those responsible. We will stop them, and they will be punished, and they should be. He then releases my shoulder before walking out of the council chamber, leaving me alone with Akhet. I didn't even realize the others had left. Is everything all right? No, for me neither. But it's all right. We're safe here. You heard us. Aaron himself will protect us, and there's nothing that can defeat him. No one is powerful. No one is all powerful. No one is as powerful, Eric. I know every song about him. I know what he can do. Trust me, okay? He'll keep us safe. No need for him to hear that. I don't know how exaggerated or not these stories are. Right now, he needs reassurance. He needs me to be sure of myself. And everyone's looking for that beast now. Given its size, it's only a matter of time before we find it, and this time the guards will be ready for it. I hope so. It's not what I expected to find at Phosphane. It's just a bad streak. I'm sure we'll soon be able to get back to singing and think of nothing else. I grab his talons and squeeze them in my hands. There's nothing else to say, nothing else to do. We just have to wait for someone else to sort it out for us. Damn it. We stay in the council chamber for a while, but eventually I get to my pause. This place is too serious and official. I need some air. With Akhet's talon still firmly in my hand, we leave the council chamber with the intention of heading out into the courtyard just to get out a bit. Unfortunately for us, it looks like our plans are destined to fall through. Hey, you two. Rowan? Hello, how's her back? Healed. I gained a scar there, but at least it'll give me something to talk about. And how are the other guards? The survivors are being treated by the priest. They should be okay, but they'll spend the next few days sleeping. And Gillard? Hard to say. The captain, well, because his brand treatment's limited, they've done all they can. It's up to him to heal now. He's clenching his fist as he says those words, so much so that I'm afraid he's going to hurt himself. I wanted to ask you something. Oh, what's that? Not here, follow me. I can't not watch him walk away, and I can't help but give him a puzzled look. Why do you think he want to talk to us? I'm not sure. I'm afraid he's got a bad idea of mine between yesterday's chase and everything that happened to Simi. He's not dumb. I don't think he'll try anything stupid. I hope so, but we better follow him, just to be sure. In pursuit of Rowan, we soon find ourselves in the courtyard as we do our best to keep up with the lieutenant as he quickly crosses it. Unlike usual, it's just us out there. No nobles strolling about, no member of the court chatting nothing and no one. It's as if, following yesterday's attack, everyone decided to hide. Perhaps we should do the same. It doesn't take long, however, to realize that the courtyard is just one step along the way, and I easily recognize where we're headed. Are we going to see Vekad? We'll need him for the rest of my plan. Is he a member of the search parties outside the castle? As a royal hunter, I say that's part of his duties. You'll have to ask him. He's available, that's all I know. When we finally arrive, Rowan doesn't even bother to knock before entering. You do know that normal people knock, don't you? You knew we were coming, and I'd like to get this done as quick as possible. Vekad watched him for a moment with a jaded expression before shrugging and settling back on his bed, his attention then turning to Akhet and me. How you two doing? As well as can be expected. The beast didn't manage to hurt us. I thought you'd be out hunting it down, by the way. The king's offer, but I declined. I learned to hunt in the woods, not in the streets of a city, so I'd probably be useless out there. Plus my bow is a convenient weapon to use in the narrow streets of Phosphane. His presence here is convenient for us. Did you get to see what I wanted you to investigate? I went to have a look, yes, it seems you were right. I found the same tracks near the walls outside. I knew it. If there's one thing I can always count on, it's my instincts. Slow down, you two. What are you talking about? You remember you told me that a cat scared you, right? The one in the gardens? The very one. I'm having trouble making the connection. Vekad told me he found some strange tracks in the gardens of Lusk, and I remember your cat anecdote. From then on, it was simple math. I know you're not necessarily the bravest people in the kingdom. Hey, even for you, being afraid of a simple cat seems strange. So I asked Vekad to see if there were any tracks on the other side of the castle walls outside. And obviously we've got our culprit in here, since the same traces are both in the garden and outside, which means our intruders had access to the inside of the castle. So what do you mean is, it wasn't a cat, it was a beast that was following us? That seems most likely, yes. And several ones runs through me as I tightened my grip on Akhet's hand and feel him do the same. It was right there, right next to us. If we hadn't left, if we hadn't run, the beast can't even reach us here. Shit. It could come here at any time. We absolutely must warn the king. No. More than the scream itself is the anger I hear in Rowan's voice that surprises me. No, think about it. If the creature really does have access to the gardens, its master potentially has help from someone inside. Maybe he's even here himself as we speak. By warning the king, we risk letting the enemy know that we are aware of this fact. But Rowan, anyone could run into it if it ever came back here. I know, that's why we're going to act, and quickly. What can we do? We're going to trap and kill the bastard. There's absolute assurance in his voice, along with the angry growl I heard before. He's convinced of what he just said. That's impossible. A whole group of guards failed to do it, and Gillard was among them. I know, and what did we do? We ran off with our tails between our legs. I fled instead of helping my captain. Now this time, I got a chance to bring the beast down, and I intend to take it. That's not the problem. If they lost, you're not going to do anything about it on your own. It'll be different. I know what we're dealing with this time, and it's going to happen in the gardens, which is my domain. No one can fight me in there. Not to mention that I never said I'd be alone. I've already agreed to help him, and all he'll have to do is keep that beast relatively still, then I can shoot it from a distance. You're completely mad. This is ridiculous. And even if it were possible, why, in the name of NeveN, would the beast kindly walk into your trap? Because they want a bait. That's why we're here, isn't it? Me? A bait? We know you're its master's target, and clearly it can track you down through the streets of Frostfang. Now, I'm not going to put myself in danger and maybe lure something we're not sure can be defeated. And what's the solution? Sit here, twiddling your thumbs, totally helpless? Waiting for others to die when you could be doing something about it? After what it did to my brothers in arms, to my captain? We have the opportunity to act here, without endangering anyone else, without risking any lives other than our own. We're the best equipped to take on this thing. Between your powers, mine, and the best hunter in the land, what chance can it have? He's completely mad. We should warn the kings, organize something to improve the castle's defenses. Why would I take part in something like that? It's got no chance of working. And yet, something resonates deep inside me in his words, this idea of no longer being powerless, of taking the initiative for once, to do something about what terrifies me. We can't accept it, right, Eric? Oh, no, it's too dangerous. Think about it some more, will you? Just in case. We'll be here by sundown. If you don't join us, I'll go and warn the kings myself. I'm no dumbass. I don't intend to keep this to myself any longer than necessary. I wouldn't count on that too much, Rowan. We'll see. With a sigh, I get up and walk out, accompanied by Akhet. Surely they don't think I'd agree to something like that, do they? Eric, wait. Vekad? Well, if I may give my opinion, I think Rowan's plan makes sense. Now speak as a warrior hunter. You know what's that bad? You know what that beast is capable of. It's still an animal. I'm not a It's not a monster, nor is it a divine creature. It's simply a beast that's been enhanced with a brand. As a result, it can be hunted and killed. Right, Birdie? You know the most about these creatures after all. They come from your land. I've never seen, but I say you might be right. I know that creatures like this one have been killed in the arena in the past. Come on, don't let the perception that you have of this monster dominate your actions. You're capable of more than you know. I thank you, Vekad. I'll think about it, I promise. That's all I can ask of you. With a final nod, he heads back inside, no doubt, to continue planning with Rowan. For our part, Akhet and I will turn to our quarters in order to make our way to his room. I crouched face first on the bed as soon as we were back, while the falcon remained standing behind me. And for quite a while, I must say, I could feel you watching me, you know? You're not really considering going to help them, are you? I let out a long sigh before turning to look at him. I don't know, maybe. Eric, I realize this is a bad idea. I can't. Believe me, I know. In that case, why? Because they're right. We have the means to lure the beast where we want it and prepare the perfect trap to stop it. Shouldn't we do it? Isn't that a moral duty? Can't I prevent more deaths if we take part in it? I don't want other people to die because of me. It wasn't your fault. Oh, stop it. If it hadn't been for me, they'd still be alive. If you can't deny that. Even if I'm not directly responsible for what happened, I can't say I had nothing to do with their deaths. But that doesn't mean you should hurl yourself into this death trap to meet yours. I have no intention of dying. Nobody does until it happens. It's not something you decide. It's not I close my eyes for a moment before casting my breath in a long, noisy sigh. It's not just that I can't. I'm tired of everything happening to me all the time without me having any control over what happens. This has had my brand. All the decisions have been made for me. I just have to go with the flow and do as I'm told. Whether it's the avatars or even the beasts, I'm told that someone else is going to act about it. Someone else is taking charge of the situation, or someone else is solving the problem. Here, I can do something for once. I can act and not just stand on the sidelines as I watch the kingdom suffer from my inaction. I have a chance to stop feeling so helpless in the face of what's happening. I raise my gaze, plunging my eyes into the falcons. Eric, he approaches to sit beside me, tenderly squeezing my hand. I understand, believe me, I understand perfectly how you feel. I felt the same way all the time when I lived with Thea. My every move was planned in advance. There were no real decisions to be made. And then one day I was given a choice and asked for one, something important. What was it? It doesn't matter for what I have to explain. But I know how intoxicating this opportunity to choose can be. I know how tempted we can be to make a choice we know is wrong, no matter what the consequences. But if you choose to go tonight, I want it to be because it's what you really think is best for you, not just because you want to feel like you're doing something. I've been given this power. I can't just brand, and I've spent the last month practicing how to use it and how to fight. I can't just stand aside when others are in danger, not when I can do something about it. We could warn the kings or Mabion. With their help, this plan would have been a better chance. With their help, this plan would have a better chance of succeeding. I think you know as well as I do that they would never allow me to be used as bait. I'm far too valuable to the kingdom for that. If we're going to do this, we have to do it behind their backs. If that's what you really want, I'll come with you. What? No, it's far too dangerous. If it's too dangerous for me to go with you, it's too dangerous for you to do it. I hate it when you use my words against me. Sorry. But you're right. I can't stop you going with me if I decide to go. That's all I can ask from you. There's a moment of silence between us as he rests his hand on my shoulder. I'm sorry I got so upset. That's okay. We're allowed to disagree from time to time. It happens. I'm scared for you. That's all. I don't want anything to happen to you. Nothing will happen to me. I promise. Then I rest my head against his. Deep down I know my mind is made up. I know I'll go with Rowan tonight, and I also know that I must find a way to keep Akhet from coming with me. The rest of the day is tense, to put it in simplest terms. Akhet and I try to chat from time to time, but it's obvious our hearts are in it. We merely exchange a few words as we go round in circles. We both know I'm planning to go, but neither of us wants to talk about it. As the hour approaches, I finally grab my rapier, making sure it's firmly attached to my belt. Are you sure this is what you want? It's what I have to do, I can't, and I suppose I still can't convince you to stay here. I'm not going to let you go out there alone. Alright, in that case, don't be afraid of the roaring wind, nor the stray dogs in the saddles. 1,000 stars will shine, 1,000 stars to lull you to sleep. What the? No, Eric! He doesn't even have time to move. My brain is activated before he can stop me, and he freezes in front of me. Sorry. I hope you can forgive me. I love you. After painfully uttering these few words, I leave the room, locking the door behind me before bolting down the corridors. I need to be as far away as possible when I deactivate my brain. I don't want to hear him behind the door. That would be too difficult. When I finally deactivate my powers, I have a brief vision that shows us walking together in the courtyard in silence. My NeveN, I hope I did the right thing. No, I can't hesitate, not anymore. My choice is made, and I've decided to make matters into my own hands. It's now up to me to show that I can handle the consequences. It's with a determined step that I head towards the meeting I have with Rowan. It's time to prove that all this training has been useful. The lieutenant can't hide the sigh of relief when he sees me arrive. Clearly, despite his assurance, he wasn't sure I'd come. He did the right choice. I hope so, anyway. Were you able to prepare what you had to prepare? I spent part of the day placing seeds in the gardens, yes. This bastard doesn't know what it's in for. And what exactly do I have to do? All you have to do is make yourself comfortable on a bench and wait. Is that all? Keep your brain awake, just in case, but basically, yes, that's it. Since Scrappy, you're the bait. We just have to lure the beast where we want it to be. Oh, also, you should take this. You shouldn't need it, but let's be cautious. He hands me a knife, which I grasp skeptically. I already have a weapon, you know. Your rapier won't be much use if you have to slice something. Just keep it with you, that's all I ask. I swear before hanging the knife on my belt. One more reason won't hurt me anyway. One more weapon won't hurt me anyway. Well, here we go. Anxious? Yeah, he's been nervous all afternoon. The excitement of the hunt, that's all. It's not every day I get to kill prey like this one. There's something worrying about the smile he gives me next. It's predatory. There are several ones through me briefly. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. But yes, let's go before I change my mind. And Rowan? If nothing happens, we'll tell the king tonight. Of course. When not, we set off for the gardens. Our journey is made in complete silence, even when Vekad goes off on his own to take up the position. We don't exchange a single word. It is finally Rowan who abandoned me, concealing herself in himself. It says herself. I think it's himself in the foliage that surrounds me as I reach the bench where Akhet and I first glimpsed the beach. As I sit down, I realize that my legs are shaking. Looking down at my hands, I see they're doing the same. Pull yourself together. This isn't the time. You came here to face your fears, not to shake like a dry leaf in the wind. Not to mention that the most likely thing is that nothing will happen. How could that beast know I'm here at this very moment? It's ridiculous. All that's going to happen is that I'm going to sit around doing nothing for the evening. A waste of time, in short. How long have I been here, anyway? And how long is Rowan planning to keep me waiting? I forgot to ask him about that. I didn't think baiting would take so long. Maybe I should. I creaked to my right. My ears swivel first, quickly followed by the rest of my head, but I can't see anything. Is anyone there? Silence. If this is a joke, it's not funny. Two yellow eyes then line up in the bushes. Two eyes I know all too well. It's here. The bushes part, but nothing happens. Vekad, shoot! But nothing happens. Shit. What's happening? Is he okay? A foul gurgle, and Rowan's sword falls to the ground. The sting of the beast's tail is firmly planted in his throat. A second tail, one that didn't exist moments before. Rowan, no, no! This is a vision, a possible future, something I'm going to be able to avoid. In a few moments, I'll find myself in the past, and I'll be able to prevent it. Come on, go back, undo the whole thing. Why doesn't it stop? Why don't I come back? That's where it hits me. Rowan's dead. He's really dead, and there's nothing I can do about it. A strange sound echoes in my ears, snapping me out of my trance. A series of repeated growls, growing louder and faster. I look briefly at the beast to see its head bouncing slightly. I understand it's a laugh. This fucker's laughing. With a flick of its hips, it throws Rowan's body to the side and brings its two tails together. Then they seem to merge into a small. Then they seem to merge into a single tail. What are you? Without the slightest difficulty, the creature stands up, tearing through the brambles as if they weren't even there. It was never trapped. It was simply toying with us. Once straightened, the monster takes a brief moment to observe me, now standing on its two hind legs, and that's when I see it and understand. Yeah, so it's a little hard to read, with this black font in this purple background, this purple UI here. So it's kind kind of hard when black font is a dark purple. Kind of hard to read the weeds. That's the reason why I kind of struggling to read it. So on its torso, clearly visible, two intersecting semicircles. It was never a beast. It's Shalathon's avatar. One little prey, give me a good hunt. Suddenly it's as if my legs take control as I begin to flee when I hear the creature roar behind me. We never had a chance, a simple beast, perhaps, but against another avatar. An avatar who played us. He pretended to be just an animal, but it's obvious he's just as aware as an Anthrocan. I keep running, bush branches whipping my face, and I hear the hunter's heavy footsteps behind me. He could catch me if he wanted to. War, joy, victory, satisfaction. The meaning is clear, even to me. There's got to be something like that. Not to mention, it probably doesn't remind him of anything good. Okay. I'll find a place for us to hide for a while. Let me just here. We can sit there. A recess in the tree. a hollow between two roots, just enough to rest. We won't really be hidden, but it's better than nothing. So I put the cat into what serves as our hiding place, letting him sit for a while as I continue to look around us, expecting to see the hunter. Right until now. That being said, if it works, it should buy us enough time for Aeon to. Don't need to defeat him, just to head out long enough for Aeon to arrive. I have to. There's no way of letting that piece of shit get away and hurt anyone else. He might find Akhet. No, I won't give him a chance. Once rid of his arm, the creature grows another from its stump, the traces of blood in its fur, the only evidence of what happened. What the fuck is this? I began to doubt that even Aeon can overcome that. I'm getting back into position, my rapier pointed at the avatar. I doubt the same thing will work twice in a row, but it's still my best option. But before I can do anything, a violent pain strikes the back of my neck. Turning my attention slightly, I can see the beast's tail with a sort of stinger at its tip sticking out of the flowers. Then I suddenly catch my breath as I find myself back in front of the hunter without his arm as he starts to grow another one from the stump. Shit, I gotta do something fast. I struck with my rapier in the direction of the bush since I know his tail comes from there and pierce it clean through. Okay, that's how it's going to play out, I see. I can only witness my own death. It's because I died after Rowan that I was able to save him last time. With that and my ability to freeze his strikes, I should be able to evade him long enough for Aeon to arrive. That is, if I manage to withstand pain, nothingness. I step back to avoid the blow, but not far enough. The tip of the tail strikes me in the side, sending me rolling to the ground for several meters. And I find myself on my knees. I can't take it anymore, and this monster knows it. He dives at me, mouth wide open. Then, in a last effort, I freeze his maw, leaving him motionless in front of me. His body continues to shake violently in all directions. I don't have the strength to get up again, not to hold him much longer. That's all right. I held him for a while and managed to tire him out. Aeon should have time to arrive, and the cat will be safe. I plant my gaze in his before closing my eyes, and I deactivate my brain. Pain, nothingness. These, however, remain only present in my vision. Why didn't he attack me? Not only do you dare to attack my men. I open my eyes, recognizing that voice. King Aeon is here, and I'm face to face with Keldon's head's encased in a shroud of darkness. But on top of that, you dare to come here in my domain and attack someone who is under my protection. And you're stupid enough to do it in the dead night. The king is surrounded by shadows, several of them having taken physical form but stand from his back, acting as a series of extra hands that the tiger uses to hinder the hunter. My king, are you alright? Not important. It's not a beast. Pardon. It's an avatar. Kelethon. Really? There's something shining in Aeon's eyes, something I don't understand. He seems to be pleased with the news. In that case, maybe I'll finally get a chance to have some fun. He steps in front of me as the hunter brings his claws to his maw to spread the saddles, holding him back until he finally breaks free. Eric, if this is really an avatar, I might need a little help. Do you think you'll be able to freeze him a couple more times? I can try. I can help you too. And Arm reaches out to support me and help me to my paws, and Akhet places himself beside me. Hey, sweetheart, I told you I'd be okay, and that I had a plan. You did. Followed by his skull, everything disintegrates, rotting and crumbling, and finally leaving only a surprisingly recognizable face. Vekad. The stag is naked and sports an expression of utter incomprehension on his face. He's looking at us one after the other, clearly trying to understand what's happening to him. I'm as lost as he is. What's that supposed to mean? Was he Kelethon's avatar all along? No. I refuse to believe that Vekad is out to kill us. Something else must be going on. Lord Aeon. Eric, Akhet, what's happening? Where am I? And why am I naked? You don't remember? No. What the fuck is going on? What's the last thing you remember? We were in the baths for the prince's birthday, my lord. We all left together, then I think I went to bed. But God, that was days ago. No, it can't be. I remember. He looks down, observing his hands for a moment, turning them in all directions. Something happened with some guards. They were gallant. He lowers his voice, merely mumbling as he continues to observe his slowly wiggling fingers. Eric, can you stand on your own two paws? I think so, my king. Perfect, Akhet. You're the one of us who's in the best shape, so hurry up and find a guard somewhere. Tell him to bring us back some custody handcuffs. Yes, my king. Right away. I gave him a brief smile before he leaves. The king then turns to me to offer me a pained look. You have a choice to make, and I didn't want him to influence you. I'm not sure I understand. He then turns to Vekad. You are accused of the murder of several royal guards as well as the attempted murder of Eric and myself. Do you understand what that means, dear students? But it wasn't me. I didn't want to. Maybe, but it's still your body that acted. Your brain, your powers. I never wanted any of this. I know, your case is extremely unusual. I have to take into account that you're an avatar. My king, if his brand took over, we can't hold him responsible. That would be unfair. And what justice would there be in letting all those deaths go unpunished? I don't know, Lord Aeon, but if this monster is responsible and not Vekad, wouldn't it be better to look for a way to cure him, to expel this creature? Perhaps, but I'm afraid it's not that simple. He then steps back, leaving me to face the stag, who looks at me with an expression of panic and incomprehension. I don't have a good answer to this problem, but I do know this. Right now, he's a resource, an additional avatar. We can't afford to lose his power. If he must die, it will be at your hands. What? No. That's how it works. That's what you explained to us. When one avatar kills another, he absorbs his power to increase the power of his brand. This is not right. I don't want to kill Vekad. He doesn't deserve it. Eric, look at me. I lower my head in his direction. My gaze plunges into his. I never meant to hurt anyone. I don't want to be a monster. Look at what I've done. I killed those guards and I almost killed you. I don't want to be a threat. I don't want to be responsible for not. I don't want to be responsible. But look at what I've done. I killed those guards and I almost killed you. I don't want to be a threat. I don't want to be responsible for more suffering. It's the only way to stop me. We both know that. They both want me to... No. It's absolutely out of the question. Too many people have died today already. But Vekad is right. If that's what he wants, are we even sure the custide works on an avatar? I don't know. I don't want to make that decision. Not right now, not ever. But Aeon's insistent gaze is clear. I have to choose what to do. Kill Vekad, spare Vekad. I'm just gonna do both choices and see if there's any difference in the story going on, going ahead. Let's do this one first. And then after the update ends, I'll come back to this choice and spare him. Now look at Rowan's knife. Look at Rowan's knife in my hand with a feeling of emptiness. I know they're right. I know it's the safe thing to do. Even Vekad himself understands that. But that doesn't mean I like it, nor that I want to do it. It just means I have to do it. I'm so sorry. I quick slashed the throat and it'll only take a moment. No reason to drag it out unnecessarily. There was no emotion in the king's voice, but I doubt he appreciates the situation any more than I do. Vekad exposed his throat, ready to end it. Don't feel bad. You helped me as much as you helped the others. I know. I tightened my grip on the knife, a quick slash. If I don't do it now, I never will, so I grit my teeth and stepped towards Vekad. And as quickly as I can, I plunged the knife into his throat and tear at it, pulling it out as soon as I feel blood trickling down my fingers. Then I dropped the weapon to the ground. What have I done? I still have refused. I still have insisted. I can only look at Vekad, my eyes misted with tears. Sorry. Forgive me. In his last moments, his gaze plunges into mine, and I can see gratitude, but also something else, something more sinister. And then nothing. He simply falls to the ground. I wish it could have gone off. I wish it could have gone differently, believe me. Please. It's over, yes. I don't know if I made the right choice. Maybe all our choices were just wrong. Sometimes you have to go in the direction you think is the least bad. We must. The king is interrupted by a coughing fit that makes him bend in half, and even from where I'm standing, I could see blood dripping from his lips. My king, are you all right? Your wounds? I'm fine. Don't worry. It has nothing to do with what happened here. Just keep it to yourself. Are you sure you'll be okay? Yes. I don't know what else to say. All I know is that I can't keep looking at him, so I just turn away. Do you feel a change? I feel horrible. I mean, about your brand. Oh, so far no. Maybe it takes time. I hope so. If I'd done this for nothing, if we could have just locked him up and kept. Something interrupts my thoughts, a tingling in my back. My lord, I think I. The tingling turns into intense pain. All I can think of, all I can think to do is curl up on the floor and scream. Eric, I feel like I'm back at the competition. The same pain goes through my body. My back burns and it feels like something is pulling on it, like it's trying to stretch my skin. Your brand, I can see it growing. It's the last thing I hear before the pain knocks me unconscious. When I open my eyes again, I'm in my bedroom. Something carried me to my bed and my wounds were treated. Awake at last? I almost jump as I hear the Phoenix's voice beside me. Turning my throat, I could see her sitting beside my bed, waiting patiently. Simi, what are you doing here? I just came to see how you're doing. I heard what happened to you. But you were in prison. The attack on the Vekadian diplomatic caravan was attributed to Vekad. What we saw on the site was too consistent with what he is capable of for it to be anything else. But why? I don't know, Eric. Nobody knows. We'll probably never find out. We can just be happy that it's all over now. Yes, it's over, by my hand. I raised it before my eyes. Someone has cleaned it. My fur is as white as it's ever been. But for a moment of brief innocence, I can only imagine it covered in blood. I'm glad to see you're okay. It must have been a terrible ordeal. I don't know if I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm okay, Simi. And I don't know if I'll ever really be okay again. Kind of, this person over here has got this this blower, this leaf blower. It's kind of loud, so it's distracted me. So anyway, I've seen death in battles before, but this was different, and this time I was directly involved in it. But from what I've heard from King Aeon, he was extremely brave. How he's doing? He's as well as he could be, given the circumstance. Lord Lust took care of him as soon as he returned. That's part of the reason I'm here. What you saw next, the illness of the king. His cough? Yes. What exactly is wrong with him? Like yours, his power doesn't come without a cost. Our king is one of the few among us who can use his inkstones reliably, but even if their power doesn't destroy him immediately, he's beginning to suffer the consequences. I understand. I won't say anything, I promise. She smiles at me, resting her hand briefly on mine. Simi, yes. You said that was one of the reasons you were here, right? Yes, I said that. There's a brief silence as she collects her thoughts. I'd like to know how my grandson died. Something breaks in her voice as she speaks these last words. Don't lie. Don't try to make it easier to hear. We thought we cornered the beast. He had it entangled in brambles and vines. The plan was to let Vekad kill it from a distance, but, well, he decided to end the beast to avenge his companions and Gilad, and it was when he was about to thrust his sword into his throat that I can't finish my sentence. The words won't come out and tears begin to roll down my cheeks again. It was quick. He didn't have time to suffer. He left with a weapon in his hand, fighting for those he loved. What better way for a warrior to die? I'm sorry, Simi. It's all my fault. If I hadn't been there, if I hadn't agreed to help him, he'd still be. Come, my boy. He knew what he was doing. You're not responsible for what happened. I'm sure no one blames you for it. That's not the impression She grabs me by the chin, forcing me to look into her eyes. It's not your fault. Don't disrespect his memory by feeling responsible for his choices. He did what he was determined to do. I'll try. Good. I'll let you rest. I think you need it. She gets up and walks out of the room, stopping, however, at the door. You can't do anything, can you? With your plan, can't you make him come back? Especially now that it's bigger than before? I don't think so, Sammy. My powers don't. Even if I could, it would take me months to master anything like that. If I could do it, I'd do it without the slightest hesitation. I'm sorry. I know. I didn't really have any hope, but I had to ask. Rest now. Then at last she leaves, and I'm absolutely certain I hear a sob as she walks away down the hall. So it's with a brooding mind that I drop it back into bed, only to realize immediately that this is a bad idea when a wave of pain runs through my body and a scream escapes me. Eric, are you alright? It only takes a moment for Akhet to appear. You'd think he was waiting just outside the door. To be honest, that's probably what he was doing. I just moved the wrong way. Nothing serious. Are you sure? You don't need anything? Akhet, I'll be alright. I just need to settle down for a bit. Okay, sure. He remains standing at the entrance to my room, twisting his talons together, and I can't help but sigh. Come here. There's enough room for you to stand next to me. I wouldn't. Get your feathery butt over here right now. There's something I'd like to tell you. This finally seems to motivate him as he approaches to sit beside me, allowing me to take his talon in my hand. I wanted to apologize. I should never have locked you in the bedroom. It's nothing you. He pauses, taking a moment to think before resuming. No, you're right. You should never have done that. Even if you did it with good intentions, it wasn't right. I only wanted to protect you. And what do you think I wanted to do? You can't make decisions for both of us. If you wanted us to be together, you have to let me help you, and I need you to help me in return. I know all that. It's just that the idea of losing you terrifies me. It scares me too, but if you put me in a cage, even if it's to protect me, you'll lose me just as much. We're a team, a group, a duo, so let's work like one, shall we? I promise I'll never do anything like that again, believe me. I've learned my lesson. I hope so. He leans down to rest his forehead against mine, and although I appreciate the intention, a new wave of pain makes me whimper slightly. You obviously need some rest. I'll leave you to it. I doubt sleeping together is a good idea in your condition. Unfortunately, sleep will do you good. And Eric, I love you. I love you too, Akhet. With one last smile, he leaves the room, and I lie back slowly and carefully in my bed. I should take his advice. I should close my eyes and go to sleep. Vekad is standing in front of me. His eyes were empty, expressionless. Looking down, I could see the knife in my hand, which was covered in blood, his blood. Vekad, I'm sorry. I didn't know what else to do. Only silence answers me. Vekad's body begins to change, to blur. And before long, it's a stone I noticed during the Avatar meeting that faces me, Kelton's avatar. No, leave me alone. Leave you alone? Now? When at last you're no longer prey? No. You and me, we're going to stay together. I think we'll get along just fine. To be continued. Okay, so I'll say right here. So now we're gonna make the choice to spare Vekad. No, this is not the solution. There's been 2 months' death already. Besides, we could find a way to help him. We could teach him to control his brand so he doesn't have to become that monster anymore. I'm sorry, I can't. Please, I don't want to hurt anyone anymore. We'll find a way to help you, to make you feel better. Fine. You'll be locked in the dungeon, surrounded by Custide. Let's hope that will be enough to keep this thing from taking over. No, please. Vekad, I just don't want to kill you. I can't. Kill me! He plunges forward, and his teeth turns into fangs. Fortunately, it takes only a fraction of a second for Aeon's saddle to grab him and pin him to the ground. Foolish prey. Finish the hunt. Vekad? I don't think it's him. In fact, I don't think Vekad ever came back. There was something strange about the way he behaved. I set the wraps around the stag face to set him up, and I let myself fall, sitting on the ground. We only have to, we only have to wait for Akhet. And the king is interrupted by a coughing. Oh, McCad admitted he was behind it, more or less. He thinks he remembers attacking the McCadders. He doesn't know why, but perhaps with time. Is he back to his usual self? He seems to have moments of lucidity at least, but the custody has no effect on him, so we've been forced to mobilize the ambassador Tanaka, in addition to the king, to keep an eye on him. On top of that, he's been heavily shackled, though we doubt it will help much given his abilities. I breathe a sigh of relief. If they are keeping him alive, it means they may want to find a more definitive solution to his problem. I have to believe that. I'm glad to see you're okay. It must have been a terrible ordeal. I don't know if I'm okay, Simi, and I don't know if I'll ever really be okay. I've seen death in battles before, but this was different, and this time I was directly involved. But from what I've heard of King Aeon, you were extremely brave. Hello everyone, we hope you enjoyed this chapter. If you want more information about NeveN, feel free to follow us on Twitter. We also have a Discord allowing you to chat among community members. Finally, if you would like to support our project, we also have a Patreon that offers you a series of benefits such as bills 2 weeks in advance, but also unique stories about the characters of NeveN. If you like the VN, please also feel free to rate us on itch.io. It will help us a lot. Once again, a big thanks to all of you, and see you soon. Alright, so gotta make a save. Well, I'll do that after I end the video. But anyway, so uh, this is a huge turning point in the story. So Rowan is dead. It's really sad to see him die. I wonder if, with time, if Eric's power gets better, will he be able to bring Rowan back? I have no idea. Rowan's probably good. Rowan's probably dead for good. I mean, but I'm just wondering if maybe eventually, as Eric gets better with his power, can he somehow bring Rowan back? With time. So that could happen, but again, I don't think that really can happen. I don't know, but I hope that is what happens. But it is sad to see him die that way. You know, gruesome like that. So about the card, I think the Avatar switches bodies, I guess, or I don't know. I think it switches bodies. So maybe what maybe the memories Vekad has is through Kelethon, and maybe what Vekad's spirit is saying is Kelethon's memories and not his own. And I think Kelethon used Vekad's brain in his body to attack the Vekadians. I don't really believe it was Vekad doing that. I think it was Kelethon himself taking over Vekad's body, and it seems to have jumped into Eric's body, I guess. That's what I guess is happening, because we heard him talk to Eric in his mind at the end there, so we got to see King Aeon in action, and I think the fact that he was so quick to have Eric decide to kill Vekad, it seemed though that Vekad and the Kings were never really that close. I mean, if they were kind of close, you know, like in a professor way, if they were kind of close, they would have been a little bit more hesitant to have Eric kill Vekad, but I don't think they really care that much about Vekad. I think it was purely just a professional thing. Because they certainly seem to care more about Eric than than the other than a lot of other people. And the only person they care more than Eric about is Maybjorn. This dog's out here barking. Oh boy. Anyway, so what else? Got to see Semi. She already knew of her grandson's death, and while she was suddenly holding up in front of Eric once he left, that's when she began to sob, and I'm sure she would end up breaking down afterwards.